Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We'll be starting very shortly, just to allow some of our expected participants and members to join us on this call. We are good to go. We'll be giving just a few minutes. In another 3 minutes, we'll kick off the program. Just ensure that your network and your connections are okay. It's going to be a fantastic day today. We have a lot that has been lined up, and our resource persons are in the house already. I can see a full house. Members of the ESCOs of AWEP are here in the house, and the panelists are ready to go. Just giving expected participants, special guests, and members of AWEP a few more minutes to join us on this call before we start. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your coming. Like I said, in another 3 minutes, we will be starting the program fully. So please call your friends, call other AWEP members that you have seen. They are not on this call as we speak. Tell them to join us as we are about to start. The link has been sent by WhatsApp to all our platforms. So it's just as easy as clicking on our link, and anyone that wants to be on this call right now will be able to participate. So we'll soon be starting. Quickly make the call to that one person we have seen is not yet here on the platform to join us, so that we can all have a very wonderful day, a very impactful day together. Okay, we'll be starting at 3:10 on the dot. So that's in another 1 minute. Oh, it is 3:10 on the dot. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Emilia Chasa. I'm the Managing Director of Marshall Star Services Limited, a private security company, and I'm the General Secretary of AWEP Nigeria. I want to welcome warmly today on this call all AWEP ESCO members, our special guests here present, and all our members that have come on board. You are welcome. It is my honor to especially appreciate Ekaette Consulting and Maine Solicitors for partnering with us, with AWEP, so to speak, to empower more SMEs through capacity building. So all our participants, we are glad that you are here and able to join us once more for our second seminar session, the last one before our annual conference of the 26th November 2020. Please, if you have not saved this date yet, I would implore you to kindly save it. It's going to be very impactful. I would now, at this juncture, like to give us a brief overview of AWEP, what we are, who we are as an organization. AWEP is an outreach, education, and engagement initiative that targets African women entrepreneurs, specifically in Nigeria. AWEP is an initiative of the United States Department of State, DOS. It was created to help African women entrepreneurs participate in international markets by taking advantage of the benefits of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. This initiative has been helping AWEP members to gain access into other markets for exports. We endeavor to create better business environments and empower African women entrepreneurs through providing technical and financial training, mentorship, export training, and access to finance through our several business partners, and we help them craft a clear path to local and export markets for their products and services. We operate specifically in 5 clusters, such as agriculture/food processing, fashion and apparel, hair and body, light manufacturing, and services. We have a presence in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, which is presided over by our vice presidents. We are led as a national body by our national president, Mrs. Angela. Our mission is to build a network of highly skilled business women by providing valuable information, access to markets, finance, and new opportunities, with a vision to position women-owned Nigerian businesses across global borders and platforms. We encourage you all to become an AWEP member today if you are not one already, and get first-hand information and updates. Attend international trade fairs and trainings. Be exposed to financial opportunities for SMEs and women-owned businesses, amongst other opportunities that this platform offers. To register, you just kindly visit our website, www.awepnigeria.org, or call the National Secretariat on the following number, 090-8016-1152. This information will be displayed in the chat box for later. I want to tell us in advance that because we are so proud of what our women are doing as a body, AWEP has taken it upon herself to showcase the businesses of some of these women today during the course of this event and the other event that we'll be having to commemorate our annual conference. We will encourage us as women to patronize each other's businesses. So please kindly put a call across to any of us that offer a service that you would want to use. We have to hold each other's hands as women. So please, without further ado, can we have the advert? If Dr. Shea can hear me, please. Let's just run the advert for 1 minute. Then we can go to the main event of the day. Thank you so much, Dr. Shea.
It seems Madam Sec-Gen is off. Network has thrown out. So can we continue? Is Madam Lamy in the house?
Trying to also get myself, okay, Madam Emilia just got across to me. The network threw her out.
Yes, network threw out. I just noticed that. Please go on, ma'am.
Okay, so mine, I'm to do the welcome remarks. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are pleased in AWEP to, oh gosh, okay, hold on a moment, please. Okay. We're pleased to be able to welcome members that have been with us a long time, new members, as well as guests joining us for the first time. This year, 2020, actually marks our 10th anniversary as a global body and 8 years as AWEP Nigeria chapter. So looking back, we have all seen that we decided to be part of AWEP because we have a mutual passion for its vision and mission, which is to position our businesses across global borders and to key into our strong network of highly skilled business women and to leverage on the valuable information which AWEP provides, such as access to finance, access to markets, and new opportunities. Now, these opportunities or passions that we have actually united us, and it has created the energy we have in this formidable group that we have. It allows us to achieve our individual goals as well as our group goals collectively. Now, the AWEP Exco, as well as the Conference Planning Committee, is actually very grateful and thankful to all of you for joining us at this virtual meeting. We thank, I'm not ready to thank yet. We welcome our speakers to our virtual conference seminar. We have Mrs. Adetoun Ayo-Adeola, who will be sharing knowledge on exports, logistics, how to transact globally. We also have Mrs. Ekaette Umoh, my dear profitability queen, who will want to know from us whether we have made any profits today, whether we have bankable business plans, how to read income statements, measure our growth, and attract funding. Our annual conference, as Secretary General has told us, is coming up on the 26th and 27th of November. And going into that, I know that the Exco will continue to support the members in this group. We will continue to provide opportunities. I know the president has so many things that we've been discussing, and she will present that on maybe today or as we go along during the conference. So you'll be learning a lot about the different initiatives that have been planned throughout. We have so many activities lined up, training, seminars, and special events. So hopefully you will all be able to join for today. It is my hope that there will be so many takeaways from this webinar, and we will all grow and be more productive and profitable. Madam Sec-Gen, are you back on to take over? Can everyone hear me? Hello? Okay. Can Secretariat please take over, because I do not have the program. Okay, can you now share the program to us, please, so that we can continue?
It's to introduce the first speaker so that you can start.
Ah, the first speaker. Okay.
Adetoun. Is Amede there?
Amede, I think, is anchoring this segment.
Where's Amede? Madam
I'm here.
Amede, go ahead now. Do introduction.
I'm here.
Amede, do introduction. Let them start.
Okay.
Amelia,
thank you very much. My able Deputy National President. Good evening or good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to this session. Our first session today is going to be taken by Mrs. Adetoun Ayo-Adeola. She is our first presenter today. She's a legal practitioner with over 15 years experience as an in-house legal counsel in the oil and gas sector. She has served on several corporate boards as company secretary, head of legal and regulations, and she's also a member of the African Women Entrepreneurship Program, provides us with legal and regulatory support. And she's formally engaged to provide support to all members of our currently lives in the USA and operates a company that is a transshipping, providing seamless logistics and transportation services to the USA from Africa and from Africa to USA to Africa. Please join me now and welcome Mrs. Adetoun Ayo-Adeola. Are you there, madam?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everybody. Oh, sorry.
Good morning.
Everybody.
Morning for her.
Thank you. I'm just going to jump right into the presentation. But I would like to thank the national president for this amazing honor. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Thank you to the executives. Thank you for the great work that you're doing, because I've been opportune to interact with other AWEP members from other African countries. And I can tell you categorically that the Nigerian AWEP stands out in a good way. Nigerian AWEP stands out in quality of businesses, in quality of intellectuals, in quality of organization and structure. Nigerian women entrepreneurs are not lacking behind at all. They actually stand shoulder to shoulder with global practices, and this is something that is very, very commendable. So I feel proud to be a member of this amazing organization. I feel like it's a privilege, and I will encourage people to be a member, to join. I mean, if you're a man and you feel you cannot join, tell your sister, tell your wife, tell people around you. They will never regret, this kind of move. So I'm going to go straight to the presentation. I'll be sharing it right on my screen at the moment. We're going to be talking about exports. Exports as an efficient approach to global business. So that's export logistics, basically. And
can you make your screen a full screen?
Full screen? Okay. All right. Is that better? Hello? Hello?
Yes, that's good.
Yes, it's better.
All right. Thank you. So I'm just going to go straight to it. Basically, when you talk about exports, a lot of times it gives people jitters because they feel like, oh, I'm going to have to ship from one country to the other. Who am I shipping to? So what we're going to be looking at in this presentation for the next 15 minutes is an efficient approach to exports and how it can help position your business globally. The first thing you have to understand, it is logistics of exporting your goods. You have to understand that the heartbeat of most businesses is being able to take it from point A to point B. No matter how great your product is, if you are such an amazing manufacturer, your cream is the best, your drink is the best, your spice is the best, or even your lawyers are the best, if you cannot take them to where needed, or take your services or your product to where it is needed, especially where the demand is high, then you cannot have a successful business cycle. And that is why, you know, when we're talking about the seamless flow of logistics, we're talking about manufacturing, packaging, transportation, so it gets to the hand of the consumer the way you want it to get to the consumer, not in a beat-up box, not in a, you know, broken way, not in, you know, you just want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward when people are receiving your product. That's the only qualified advertisement that you have. And so you want to make sure that your logistics is seamless. There's a flow and it's efficient. It's so interesting that most companies are looking for very efficient ways to reduce the amount of hours and increase the efficiency by just doing simple things. For instance, the FedEx trucks that do land delivery, they only make right turns. And that way they're able to save 3.5 minutes every hour. And imagine they have like 500 trucks on the road and they save 3.5 minutes from every truck every hour. So they're able to have more delivery time, less layback time, just by making sure that none of their trucks has to make a left turn. All your routes are right turn. So that's the kind of seamless flow we're looking at. But, you know, it starts with little things. A clear example, I'm on the third slide. A clear example is Amazon. It's very interesting that Amazon as a company has no product. You know, they're not selling anything. What they've just done is be the logistics of every business that every business needs. They tell you, bring your products to us. We will warehouse it. If you don't know how to package it, we know people who can package it for you. We'll warehouse it for you. We will do the distribution for you. All you have to do is produce and bring to us. And what they did at the initial beginning was to go into great partnership with FedEx, because they knew that FedEx had the network and they did not have to reinvent the wheel, which is one of the things that I'm going to be talking to us about. We need to know how to synergize, because when we're able to synergize, we can actually reduce our overhead and be more productive. So the results of this match made in heaven, I mean, we all know Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world just because of that decision to leverage on existing facility. He didn't build anything except to leverage on existing facility. And he built a big business. And that's not something to ignore. For anyone that wants to be successful in their businesses, that's something to watch out for. However, at this time of the presentation, both companies have parted ways because they became too big for each other. And now Amazon has its own logistics, has its planes, it has its trucks, it has its drivers, it has its contractors, and it's doing the same thing FedEx is doing, but they're not even in competition with each other because FedEx is still able to service all the other people while Amazon is just focusing on its customers. And that is the kind of things that we're, going to be talking about. So why is logistics important? Logistics is important because it requires detailed organization and implementation of a complex operation. This can be applied to information transformation, transportation, inventory warehousing, material handling, and packing, disposal, and security. I'm so glad that the way this webinar is structured, we're going to have the profitability queen talking to us next, because these issues cannot be isolated. They're so married because, you want to be profitable when you're doing things like this. And the first question you ask yourself is, who and what is your end target? Because once you know who your target is, it will inform the aspect of transportation you want to focus your energy in. It is important to know that not every business can export or should. But the first thing you ask yourself is, what do you produce? Is it consumed locally? Maybe the logistics you need to work on is how to get your products within Nigeria or even within your state. You might not be able to meet the demand within your state if you have your logistics properly structured. You have to know who your target market is. Because if it is local, then your package should attract local. If it is international, your packaging will attract international. And then that's when we start to talk about all the, I'm not going to go through over it because I know the last webinar, they discussed about all the certifications that you need for exports. Hello, madam. So, someone just called my attention.
You can go on.
Oh, all right. Okay, so what you want to find out is who your target market is. You know, you can be hugely successful in your local market if you work in logistics. For instance, if you're a farmer, I'm not sure that your food production can even service your state. That's how much demand, because one of the things we all learned during this lockdown is if every business stops, the farmer never stops, because if they do, we're all doomed. So you're talking about what kind of product are you talking about? Because if you're a farmer and you're producing fresh produce, the cost of exporting better be worth it. You better be, shipping like 20 containers per week for it, because you're going to be having to use refrigerated containers and all the old whatnot. And, there's so much inspection that has to do with fresh produce. We are always getting romaine lettuce, what do you call it now? Is it color? That they will just tell you, oh, we found E. coli strain in one of this, and then they have to call every romaine lettuce in every store in the next 2 weeks, don't buy. I mean, if you're shipping your product from Nigeria to, say, England, for instance, and it is fresh produce, trust me, the kind of sanitation, the kind of inspection, the way you want to, the pain that you will take to get it not to have any form of contamination, because one contamination can ruin your entire product line, everything. Because they're not going to spare, they're not going to say, oh, maybe it's this one or that one. As long as they can trace it to you, because it can be traced. Once you have your certifications, they know what product is coming into the market and what is going out. It's very different. And so you may want to focus more if you're doing fresh produce with local markets, because then you can manage, the transportation is easier, you can work on your local logistics. You think about who needs your products and where are they located? How can you reach them? It still goes back to the logistics of how you transport your goods. Even transporting, it's so sad that I remember one of my biggest, one of the things I used to look forward to a lot during the rainy season back in Nigeria, in Abuja, was the Benue mango. That mango is a touch of heaven. I don't know, there's something about that mango that just reminds you of God. It's so juicy, it's so nice. But the sad thing is that I hear that only half gets to the market because most of it perishes because of, wrong transportation. The poor farmer is not really thinking about how he's going to get a refrigerated container to move it within the market. And then the roads are bad and all of that. We know all those problems. But if you're going to be focusing on that local market, you want to make sure that you look at the kind of logistics that is relevant to your market. And then what is your unique selling point? The beautiful thing is that you don't have to have one, so to speak. And when I mean you don't have to have one, vegetable is vegetable, right? I'm not talking about bad vegetable. I'm talking about fresh ugu vegetable is fresh ugu vegetable. So basically, maybe what will be your own selling point is that yours gets to the market before everybody's own. So it's still in the freshest of the state. And, they're just things, they're just parameters that you have to look at when you're planning your business logistics. And then how can you reach your prospective consumers? It's very interesting that when you mention things like Zobo in this part of the world, it's almost like you're talking about liquid gold. They call it hibiscus something. You go to Starbucks and you're paying $5 to buy Zobo. Zobo that is not even pink enough, you know? And it's all packaging. And they don't even have it. They get the Zobo they get their hibiscus from Mexico. Who buys it? From Nigeria. And one of the things I found out doing a market research last year was that Nigeria is so blessed. Nigeria has the best quality of hibiscus roselle in the world. Like whenever I've gone for trade shows and when I present Nigerian hibiscus, the way people gather, like, oh my God, it's so red, it's so rich, it must be rich in antioxidants. And you're looking like, that's Zobo. Like if you go to the market with 100 naira, you will buy a bottle from one woman by the roadside. But you know, so you start to think, how can we efficiently bring something like that here? Or you talk about moringa. I remember one of our members who does moringa, and I brought our product and I took it to the Export Council in Arizona here. They were sampling the moringa as though, I don't know, and they kept talking about it. And the painful thing is, there's a website called kulikuli.com. It's owned by a white woman who came on a piece, whatever, to I think it was Chad, and then she came to Niger State and she saw moringa and she decided to get partners from this part of the world and rebranded moringa and titled her business kulikuli.com, right? It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars right now. She's literally bullying the moringa market. And she's working with our local people, you know, and I see our women, you know, who even know way better, who understand this business better. And I see that all that they need is just having the right logistics and, you know, being able to just structure their business properly, you know. They will kick her out of the market. Not kick her, there's enough, you know, there's enough room because the consumption is getting, the awareness is getting really much. So we talk about transporting your goods to reach your prospective or existing customers. You need a means of transferring your goods in good condition from origin to destination. I'm not going to belabor us. We all know there are only three, well, not only three, but the three major ones is by road, by land, or by air, right? And if you're trucking to maybe border countries like Benin Republic or Cotonou or Ghana, you will be talking about trucking, right? If you're talking about other parts of the world, you want to do by air or by sea. And by air is always the fastest and most efficient, especially if you want to get your product, you know, there now. And by sea, it takes a while, but you can get more out, right? Even though it has its pros and cons, but you can get more out if you're doing by sea. So what should drive your choice of this is, if you're doing within African countries or even locally, if you're supplying locally, you want to look at trucking, you want to look at rail, you know. I don't know the current state of rail, but I know that at the time, they are, I mean, especially the northern axle of Kano to Lagos had started working. It takes a long time, and you know, but at least it's working. And sometimes the costs might be easier if you can take advantage of those things. You know, it works better during dry season, because I know that during the rainy season, most of the slippers gets washed off around Kogi area and stuff happen. So you want to look at what volume you're doing. If you're not really producing enough to export, to service and export markets, you might want to, I remember our president talking about this collaboration. You might want to, and that's the essence of the reason why AWEP has the clusters. Because with the clusters, there will be times you will get orders that you cannot personally fulfill. Only one person cannot fulfill it. only one company. I mean, you're going to literally run yourself down doing that. So you want to make sure that you have people who can work with you. And that is where quality control and all of those nice things come in. But that's not the focus today. You know, you want to know if you're going to be exporting, can you do it daily? Is it by air? Is it by demand? You know, like, are you doing creams that maybe people are just going to be ordering online and then you have to do a shipment and take to them? Or are you going to be doing weekly? Especially if you're doing food, people eat every day, you know, or are you going to be doing monthly? Or are you going to do that big shipment once at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year? For big chains like Walmart and Fry's, I hear that most of the products they're going to use for the year arrives by March ending. So April is literally their new year. So if they have anything on their shelves, by March they get rid of it, or they, you know, change the inventory and then introduce the new stuff. Everything that they bring in from China, from any part of the world, has to be in their warehouse by end of March. If not, they don't have that thing, right? And that's part of, you know, the logistics I'm talking about. It has to be seamless, because you cannot start looking for your product when you need it. You want to make sure that product is already accessible before you need it, and that your customers, your would-be customers also will want that kind of thing, because in most developed countries, people have developed it like a microwave mentality and taste for things. When they want it, they want it now. They want it now. They don't want it yesterday. They don't want it tomorrow. They want it now. And that's why Amazon Prime will always sell, because people need their products now. You order in the morning, in another 2-3 hours, it's at your door, you know? And so if you're going to be competing globally, you want to find your positioning. Do you want to compete at that level? Do you have what it takes? If not, how do you intend to compete? So then you look at your rate of demand, and can you consistently meet up with what is required? And if you can't, would you require strategic partnership? Like I was saying, if you have 5 people within your clusters that produce the same thing, and you feel like you have a demand for that thing, instead of, you know, just keeping it to yourself, call the people within your cluster. You can even go to their production site and make sure that it's according to, you know, maybe you can pick people that you know that their quality of production meets up to yours. And if they don't, you can give them a time frame to meet up. Do your inspection. Don't just assume that, oh, we are producing the same thing, so it's going to be the same thing, because one of the things about your product is that it has to be consistent. The one I taste today must not change from tomorrow. If you go and buy chicken nuggets, for instance, at Burger King, chicken nuggets today and chicken nuggets tomorrow and chicken nugget last year and chicken nuggets next year taste exactly the same way. If it is different, they're in trouble. And that's how, you know, our production should be. That consistency. And the only way you can get the consistency is to have it structured, you know? It's as simple as the way people even cook in restaurants. Most people just cook. So today the rice will be sweet, tomorrow it will not be sweet. But if you have like a recipe, it is half a cup of this, 2 cups of that, 5 cups of this. Even a madman, permit me to use that word, following the recipe will get the same output. But when we don't have structured way of producing our products, there will be inconsistency. And once there's inconsistency, people start to lose interest. So when you're exporting, you want to make sure that internally you have your structure well worked out. And then the 4th thing is that, can you leverage on another product to push it forward? And I use the word like bread and butter relationship. You know, you find out that women who in Lagos, most of these girls that hawk bread, they always have butter with them. You know, it's a partnership, because they know you want to eat bread. You're either looking for akara, butter, jam, moi moi, you know, or you find someone who is selling in those, you know, selling ewa going, for instance. You will see that there's a bread seller that locks around the corner. Or sometimes they go into good partnership and she just puts her bread there. and people are buying, but it's not the person making the beans is focusing on her beans. She's not focusing on whether she's going to go and buy bread or not, because she has a partnership with the bread seller who positions her bread where the ever going is. So there are products that can complement each other. And when you see such products, you want to start, having strategic partnership so that both products can move forward, because the more ever going people buy, the more bread they will buy. And, both businesses are moving forward. So those are the questions and many more questions that people have to ask themselves when exporting. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to change my screen. Yeah. So exporting goods from Nigeria. To reach your prospective or existing customers, sorry, I've done this slide before. For some reason, my screen, okay. Nigeria has its own uniqueness, and I'm fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So Nigeria as a country has its own uniqueness when it comes to exports. And I will not go through the details, but we know, is it port congestion? That in itself is enough to discourage anybody, because I've had clients who had their products stuck at the port for a month to export, not to import, before it gets to their turn. And before you know what is going on, if it's a product like dry beans, you know that is knocking on the door of trouble. So Nigeria has its own, and we have to learn how to work with the system. So with things like that, you'll be mindful of, one, the existing custom laws in Nigeria before exporting to other countries. I am aware that there are some products that you are not even allowed to export from Nigeria because Nigeria doesn't have enough. So those are things you want to know. You want to check that your products falls under the ones that can be exported, and it's not the one that is on the no export list, And you want to also be sure that, I'm going to use beans as an example because I had a very personal experience. And you want to also be sure that the kind of product you're exporting is not such that can create issues for you. So it's very interesting that our honey beans, the brown beans that we have in Nigeria, is very unique to us. Arizona is very close to Mexico, so we see varieties of beans, but the only beans you will never find is the African honey beans. And trust me, you all know how wonderful that tastes. But that beans also has its plague. It's an open plague. There are these weevils that are like from hell, that once they attack it, they can take you from profitability to ruins in days. So when you're exporting things like beans, number one, get ready to be inspected. In fact, put it as part of your overhead, because the customs here, once they see that it's beans, they're going to open your container. So you want to make sure that your packaging for that is you're prepared for that. If it's just that it's going to be more expensive, if possible, you want to freight it if you can, because of the nature of how those things breed, So you check the product that you're sending, and you want to make sure that product is not going to put you into trouble. And another thing I will advise us is, when you want to export, try not to do it alone. Get professional help. It is so important, because when you get professional help, thank God that AWEP has given us an opportunity to be exposed to all this Export Promotion Council and even professionals within us who understand these things. Get professional help, because not getting professional help because you're trying to be cheap can be very costly, you know? And so I have attached a checklist, and that checklist will help anybody to be able to know what to do at the right time. So another thing we're gonna have to do is you have to demystify exports. You will understand that export is just transportation with respect to your origin and your destination. You want to be sure that you respect what these people want before you leave, and you respect the country that you're shipping into, because every country has its laws with regards anything. And I'm going to talk about AGOA briefly. You know, you hear people talk about AGOA. AGOA is actually not the only thing that is available for people to ship in the US. AGOA is the African Growth Opportunity Act. What it is for is that there are over 6,500 products that you can ship into the US tariff free, not logistics free, not custom broker fee free, tariff, import duty free. That's what it means. Because there's some products that are so heavily tariffed, especially products from China, that they pay as much as 30% of the cost of the product as their duty on some products. But in this case, there are a lot of products that you can bring in and you will not pay duties. Pounded yam, plantain, banana, plantain fufu, even beans, depending on when you ship it. If you ship it between May and August, you will pay tariff. If you ship it from September to April, you will not pay tariff. So you have to think about when, you know, these are things that when you engage a professional, you will be able to understand how to take advantage of it. And even outside the AGOA, there are some other ones that you can take advantage of. They call it the general, it's like a general platform where there are products that under normal circumstances, the US will not put import duty on it, so you can bring it in tariff free. You have to know those products, and when you know those products, you can take advantage of them, you know. One of the things that you should also note is that most developed countries, they have learned the secret that they cannot produce everything. And they have appetites for foreign food, just like we do in Nigeria. So most of those foreign food, I'm going to give an example of avocado. They call it guacamole here. It's 100% shipped in from Mexico. But it is very difficult for you to go to a restaurant and not find it, because it's highly consumed here. Or let's take, for instance, the Great American Coffee. America does not produce any coffee. All the coffees in America are imported. That's to tell you that there's a huge market for imports in that area. All the coffees are imported. Starbucks imports all their coffees. Like any coffee company you know that packages here, only packages here. All their coffees are imported. So except maybe less than 1%, which is really, really small, because they cannot meet the demand. So that means that there's room for exports from other countries, especially African countries that we're so richly blessed, especially Nigeria, where we're so richly blessed with so many resources. But we need to just organize ourselves properly to be able to service these markets. So I'm going to talk about efficient exporting that won't break the bank. Number one, partner with international courier companies like UPS, FedEx, or DHL. It's funny because I discovered this in a very interesting way. Partner with them. You will you'll be shocked, but don't go alone, because you cannot meet the requirements alone. And I thank God for our national president, because when I spoke to her, she said, you know, we can do this as a group. If you meet them as a group and tell them, look, we're going to be exporting every week, we'll consolidate and bring to you. Yours is to get it to our destination. And this is the amount of percentage we want off our rates. If their rate is maybe $100 per box, they can give it to AWEP for $25 per box, as long as you're able to supply them, say 40 box per month, right? And those are partnerships I'm talking about that we need to start looking at. So you don't have to, that way you can even start the little exports, the small ones that you want to do and take it to your destination. And then it is also possible to do the less container load exports. That's the one that, you have like a box or a pallet in another person's container. The only thing I would advise about that, they call it groupage. The only thing I would advise about that is make sure that you know the goods that the people are putting into it. Make sure you are aware from the beginning to the end so that there are no unpleasant surprises, And then customs declaration. This part, I've also had experiences with it. It is so important. Even if in a whole 40-foot container, you're only going to have a box of, say, Gary, and other things are other things. Let them know that there is one box of Gary there. Because not declaring can actually take you on a ride you don't want to go on. So it is important that you declare, let them know what is in your product, your documentation and export contracts. I had a client who had a bad experience with exports. And the only reason, I did 2 exports for her. One, she had export contract, the other she didn't. The one that she had the export contract, there was a problem. But because the contract had already spelled out who is going to be responsible for what, which I attached the Incoterms terms to this presentation so that people can have it. Spell out the terms. Who is paying for what? Are they picking it from your store and paying you your money and then they're having to deal with the headache of shipping? Or are you shipping to their door and then once it gets to their door, they pay you? How do you want to be paid? Are you doing letter of credit? Are you doing instrumental payments? Your export contract will specifically state that so that there are no stories, because there can be stories and those stories sometimes are not nice. So it's important that you have that. And I've taken the pain to put the table of export process. You identify the market, you sign your export contract, you have commercial invoice, you time frame of delivery, get your export certificate, do your certificates of inspection, certificates of weight and quality. That must be agreed to by both the buyer and the seller. You cannot say, oh, I got Mr. A to come and certify that the container is complete, the bags are complete. Your buyer has to say, oh, we know this company is in Nigeria that can do this. Do you agree to do this with them? Yes. A lot of times the seller pays for that, to certify that what you're shipping to them is what you said you're shipping to them and not half junk, half products. It's very, very important. Your certificate of origin, well, you can't even land it in any country if you don't have a certificate of origin. Your shipping documents, and then all and all and all. I also attach the Incoterms and everything so that everyone can look at it and familiarize themselves with it. That's the end of my presentation. I know people might have questions, so I'm ready for it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very, very much. Thanks a lot, Madam Adetoun. Now, I have a few questions. Lots of questions in the question box, and it's from Oluche, and it says, is there a way?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
There's a sound that is just.
Can you hear me now?
I think so now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I said there is a question in the question box from Oluche, and it says, is there a way to know what products are in demand?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my, as long as you can see me, I'm fine, because I can't even see myself.
It's okay, we can see you.
Okay, that works. So yes, there is. And the question is that, is there a way to know what products are in demand? You just need to familiarize.
Yes.
The beautiful thing is that I think AWEP does a lot of seminars on things like that, and even NEP, the Export Promotion Council. You need to be out there when you go for, you know, road shows, and you go for exhibitions and all of those conferences that they do on exports. You'll be able to find out, or you can even go online. So a lot of countries have like lists of products that they export most. For instance, hello?
Go on, Tom.
Yes,
Hello, we can
I
hear you.
hear you.
All right. So a lot of countries have products that is on their top import list. For instance, 3 years ago, the US went by over 100% in their normal import of soybeans. Like, it skyrocketed all of a sudden. So definitely there will be more requests for such products, right? And there's some that will always be in demand. But you just need to know, how much, you know. Now that goes to volume. You need to know how much you can supply. Because when these people are, if you're going on industrial level, or if you're going on the supermarket level, those are two different things. And when I'm talking about supermarket, are you going to just African stores, or do you want to go to a store like Walmart that will ask you for maybe 10 containers per month? Can you do that? Or do you want to start small? Or do you want to go to Amazon, for instance? Do you want to just do fulfillment by Amazon, pack your stock, send it to Amazon, list it on Amazon, and let them take the headache? So there are different ways. You can start with that. So there are all these online platforms that you can use. And there are also there's also the ones where you can make inquiries, talk to people, go for programs. You can't learn it sitting in your office. You have to go out, you know, and find out, and, you know, make requests, and sometimes send out samples, you know, to places. Who are you looking to supply, and what is your capacity? Those are the two questions. Who are you looking to supply? If you're looking to service the African market, fine, then you don't need much. If you're looking to supply the entire market, then you're talking of containers. And then how do you want to enter that market? Are you going to go through a retail chain, or are you going to go by yourself? Or do you want to just do the Amazon, let's sell online, or Shopify, or eBay? You decide, because there's a way to enter. There are different ways to enter. You can decide to enter through Amazon, right? And just do fulfillment by Amazon. Or you can decide to enter a big way, depending on who your product is servicing. If you're selling Gary, for instance, you know the people you want to sell it to. Because if you take Gary to Walmart, they might not really understand. But the truth is, because they're going to ask themselves, how many Africans are going to walk into our store to buy it? If it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, we're not interested. But if it's something like hibiscus tea that everybody buys because they think that is next, thanks to Starbucks, who has now made it a hibiscus chai latte, you know, they've made it so pumps and it's all bougie, then definitely you want to be talking containers. You want to be supplying to people who are like tea companies, or you want to be the one selling that tea online. So you decide. I hope I answered that question.
Thank you very much, Madam Toon. I think you answered that question. And then we have another question also But it looks like you have answered it, because it's also asking, how do we get buyers? Is there a way to contact buyers? And I think you answered it when you answered the first question on if there are buyers for products.
Okay, they're buyers. Talk to people. You know, one of the things you have to know is that there's work. The legwork of exports is going to be determined by your volume. Period. You can't go and talk to Walmart and say you have a carton for them. They don't even have time for that. You know, so you have to look at your volume, and then you can talk about the market.
Okay, we have a comment in the chat box, and it says, the comment says, "Good day. Please, can I get the recorded session of this meeting?" Yes, it's being recorded, and we're going to email that to the participants, right, Dr. Shea?
Yes, we will.
Okay, all right. I see that somebody has their hands up.
Okay.
Fatima Momo, would you like to say something? I see your hands up.
Even Barrister T's hand is up.
Can we unmute Fatima Momo? Can we please unmute Fatima Momo so that she can say what she wants to say? Hello, Fatima? Yeah, can you unmute yourself? Hello, Fatima? Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for this great lecture. I've learned so much. Like what you are talking about, maybe somebody exporting goods to abroad, that is international, checking the market. But the major thing is like going to this Amazon. Their procedure is very easy, but when you get for you to get your product to the Amazon market, what are the easiest way you can access the market? Maybe somebody in abroad needs your product and you are in Nigeria, so I don't understand. How can you move your product to the international market?
That's a very interesting question. There are two ways. Personally, our company does it for people. We take your product, we take it to the Amazon fulfillment center. We help you set up your market, so you monitor it because of the listing and all of that. But you want to make sure that, from experience, I don't buy things on Amazon if it is not on Prime. In other words, I'm also one of the impatient ones. I want it today, tomorrow, latest. Anything that tells me 2 weeks time, I'm not interested, right? So you want to make sure that your products, before you list on Amazon, you have the number of products that you want, shipped here already, taken to the fulfillment center, you set it up on your Amazon account, and then when people order, it is Amazon itself that is going to fulfill it. You're not going to have anybody running up and down trying to post your things, you know, because what usually happens is, at the end of the day, the cost of even posting it might swallow up your profit. But when you've already calculated all those things, definitely Amazon is going to charge its commissions. You have monthly fees you pay, but your mind is at rest that whoever needs your product does not need to wake you up. But when your stock is getting low, you'll be alerted, especially if your product is selling. You'll be alerted, and then you can go to your nearest FedEx or DHL and send the product again. Except the product is voluminous, and then you want to maybe, but if you want to do on Amazon, my recommendation as transshipping is get it here. Let's get it to the fulfillment center, set up your accounts, manage it, period. Because you can't ship from Nigeria to, somebody buys a product of $20 and then you want to ship it with DHL for how much? $100? So it's better to have like a whole ready here.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Tung. So it means that you can do the setting up, you can do the listing, and you can do the fulfillment on behalf of the AWEP members or people that come from Nigeria, right?
Yes, for a fee. Yes.
For a fee, of course. Absolutely. I trust you, Niger. Okay, we have another question from Miriam. Okay, I think this has been answered, Miriam.
Be conscious
Please,
of
can
our
you
second
sell
speaker
from Nigeria
time.
on Amazon? And what are the requirements?
I
And
think we
Amamede,
just
be
answered
conscious
it.
of the second time.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, we'll just, it looks like Madam Tong has answered this question already. So if there is no other question, and I think we have one more hand up, and that's the last hand. Barrister T, you raised your hand. Do you want to say something? Barrister T, please. Barry T,
Have they unmuted her?
can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Actually, I was just joining for the second session. You know, that was an error. I didn't know my hand was up.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but all the same, I've learned quite a bit, from what I heard, these last few minutes. And I want to appreciate, our facilitator for the good work and all of you behind the scene persons. Thank you.
Thank you, Bariti.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone that have listened to this presentation. Madam Tung, we're going to be sharing the contacts and this recording with all the participants, and we will now put together a document and a checklist so that we can share it and find out the group of people that are interested in taking it further. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand over to Madam Emilia. Madam Emilia, over to you.
Is she in?
Unmute yourself.
I unmuted myself. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Now we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Madam Amade, for stepping in. You are my co-moderator. The network was a bit unfriendly earlier on. I apologize for that.
Sorry.
I want to thank Madam Tung, an excellent presentation. We have learned so much. And we are ready for the second presentation for the day. It is going to be on financial documentation for businesses. I'm really quite excited about this one because the person that will be giving us this presentation is a guru. He has so much experience in this field, and it will give me great pleasure to briefly introduce Mrs. Ekaette Umoh, the lead consultant, Interview Consulting. She is a visiting member of Faculty of Enterprise Development Center, Pan-Atlantic University, Lagos. Ekaette is president, Lagos Business School Alumni Association, Northern Region. She is the immediate past president, League of Akwa Ibom Professionals, and immediate past vice president, NECAS Network of Entrepreneurial Women, NEW. She currently works as a senior advisor at H. Pearson Associates Limited. She is a chartered accountant and chartered microfinance banker with over 14 years of banking experience in both deposit money banks and a microfinance bank. She was the national treasurer of the National Association of Microfinance Banks, NANB, at one point. Ekaette Umoh is the author of two widely acclaimed books, Aspire, starting a successful business, and those teenage years. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly help me welcome no other than Mrs. Ekaette Umoh for the next presentation on financial documentation for businesses. Madam Ekaette, it is my pleasure, ma'am.
Profitability queen.
All right.
Profitability queen. Hey, number one.
Yes, sir.
Madam
Right.
Ekaette, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much for the
Welcome,
very warm
we are
introduction.
having you already. We are so excited to have you.
Okay, now that you're hailing me like this, I'm beginning to get afraid.
You, when you go ask how much profit we have made, we are waiting.
How can she be afraid? Don't mind her.
All right, so good afternoon, ladies and the few gentlemen who are courageous enough to join these enterprising women. I appreciate the warm invitation and I don't take it for granted. One of the things that is missing on that profile is that I'm a very active member, if I may say so, of AWEP.
Very true.
And, thank you, Madam President. I don't take it for granted at all that I've been invited of all of us to come and speak to us on this pre-conference webinar. Thank you, Madam President, all the members of EXCO, Madam Emilia, Madam Amede, all of you that chose me to speak, I appreciate, and I don't take this opportunity lightly. All right, so I was invited to speak to us about documentations for our businesses, and so I'll just go straight to the point. I will begin to share my slides now.
Dr. Shea, please can Mrs. Ekaette share her slides?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
But I can't see my desktop. Okay, let me go here. Oops. All right, so can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. But it's not in the full screen. No?
Yes, let me. To be enlarged.
You can go on.
All right, I guess I'll get it. All right, so bottom line, I'm speaking on financial documentation for businesses, a pre-conference webinar for AWEP Nigeria. By way of introduction, for long-term growth and success in your business, it's important that you have your business financials. And at some point, we're going to do a poll because we listened to Madam To. I mean, that was fantastic. For me, I'm already calculating dollars because of Zobo. This Zobo that Malam will call me to buy, and I'll be telling him I don't want to have enough from the last time I was in the market. So he can make that much money. Madam President, we are sitting here and waiting for, anyway, we have to have a conversation on this Zobo matter. This is the second time I'm hearing that Zobo is such a lucrative thing. So now that To has spoken to us, I am not going to just sit down and be quiet anymore. We are going to have to do something about this Zobo thing. And the mango she
Welcome to the club.
All right. So the mango she talked about, I was just laughing, and that mango also is exported. I remember that there used to be a guy who used to freight it from the middle belt to the UK on daily basis. I don't know if he still does it. And maybe if he's not, that's why we have so much of the wastage. Sadly, that's the best mango I've eaten in the entire universe. And I'm sure that most of us would say the same thing. All right, so the following business documents you need to create and understand and use to track and drive growth. You need to have some business documents. You cannot be a business person. You can't even talk about export if you don't have documents to even show that you exist. Some of us are there in name as a business, or we just have, because we have bank accounts. Some people think that having a bank account is enough. No, that's not enough. You need to have documents to show you, to help you track your growth, to help you understand where you're going, to help you see your trend, to even help you create some products that you don't know you could do. Because you have records, that's when you're able to, when you have records, you're able to do so many things for yourself. But if you don't have records, you rely on your brain power. And as I said in one of my books, Aspire, your brain is not for storage, it's for thinking. So use all the other facilities for storage, your books, the clouds, the computer, your phones. And I hear that some of us don't use up to 10% of the value of, or the functions of our phones. The phone is very powerful. I even hear that it's more powerful than the robots that put man on the moon in 1969. If the phone is that powerful, how much of the value of the phone are we using for the aid of our business? Okay? So when these documents are put together, they give you the full picture of your business overall health. Some of our businesses are not doing well because we don't have these documents. Some of our businesses are doing well, but we're having sleepless nights thinking that the businesses are not doing well because we do not have these documents. I hope I have communicated.
Yes, you have.
All right, thank you. So we need to have these documents. They're very important. And I have said these documents how many times now? But what are these documents and how do we get them? What do we do about them? Okay? I'm going to list the documents and you're going to answer a question. So we're going to have a poll after I list the documents, how many of them you have. You have to be honest to yourself because after all, the poll, nobody's going to see your name. It's for your own good to speak to yourself about your business so that you can know where to rectify yourself in preparation for the coming months. And 2020 has been a fantastic year, but we want a more fantastic year, 2021. And we can't do that if we don't have any documentations. Some of us are already dreaming about exporting. There's nobody that would look at you if they come to do business with you and they see that there are no records to prove your existence. If you tell me you've met... Yes.
Excuse me, sorry, please. Would you want Dr. Sheyi to help you share your slides? He has the presentation no because problem. I'm not sharing your slide. Can he help you with that?
Okay.
Okay, she's not sharing. Let her see whether she can.
Yeah, she couldn't find her presentation, so.
All right, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you're not saying. Please go ahead. I don't mind help. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Sheyi can quickly share your slide with the participants.
Strange.
Dr. Sheyi, thank you, sir.
It's sharing already.
All right.
Thank you, Emilia.
Okay, so I'm done with this.
Next.
Okay, so this is where I was. So I was just saying that we need to have these documents. If we don't have them, we won't know where we are. And you are thinking and dreaming about exporting. Nobody's going to touch your business if they don't know who you are. And you can only tell me who you are by the numbers. And numbers generally don't lie. We'll see the evidence in the bank and in the submissions the returns you make to CAC and all the other places. So we need to have those documents. Okay, so let's go through the list of these. I mean, I've talked about these documents. I'm sure some of you are wondering, hey, so these documents, I'm tired of hearing, let's see them. Now I have a list of the documents. I'll just quickly read them out and explain each of them. And you tell me in a poll, how many of you have these documents? if you have all of them, fantastic. That means you're ready for business. That means you can speak to us. Let us join the group of those doing Zobo exports next year. But if you don't have all the documents, we are not going to admit you into that our committee. And I am the chairman, with the permission of the president, of the committee exporting Zobo to America from next year. So if you don't have all of these documents, we won't admit you in that our committee. All right, so the first document would be your income statement. Is more generally called profit and loss account. Do you have your profit and loss account? Even if your account is not audited by an external auditor or a chartered accountant, as the case may be, do you have profit and loss account? Do you keep records to the extent that you are able to do a profit and loss account for your business? Some of us are making profits, but we don't know it because we are not keeping those records. So if you have profit and loss account, tick for yourself, but don't tick yet. You'll do it when we do the poll. In fact, maybe what I'll do, I'll just list out the documents, you do the poll, and then we will explain it, okay? I think that's better. So we have cash flow statements. You know what cash flow is. So what comes in, what goes out? Are you keeping records of all of those? Or are you saying, it was only Barrow Boy, it was only 500 I gave him? No, it doesn't matter. It matters. Oh, in accounting and in business, every kobo matters. You're supposed to put it down because it will reflect in your cash flow statement. Your balance sheet tells you, it's also called statement of financial position. It tells you where you are as a business, how rich you are, what your assets are, what your liabilities are, and what is the equity that is supporting all of these transactions in your business. Okay, that's where your balance sheet is. Okay, and then you have your tax returns. Some of you have not registered for tax. Please do. You know that these people, their eye don't read. They're looking for money. If you have not paid your tax, or if you're not registered, when they come at you, they're coming with that red eye, and it's not going to be fun, especially if they come and see one car parked. They don't understand that you bought that car from a previous job or something. It will just be counted like you were doing business and you were not paying taxes, and you pay penalties, and you don't want to go there. It's not a nice place. And then account receivables. Who are the people owing you? Some of you people are owing you, you don't even know because you're not keeping these records. Account payables. Who are the people you're owing? You might say it doesn't matter, but it does, because you don't want someone to owe you, and so you shouldn't be owing someone. Even if you're owing people, you should keep records so that you know how to pay them, and you can schedule your repayments of the loans and outstandings and obligations that you have to people. Business plan. A business plan is not strictly a financial document, but I added it because for me, I feel that for every business person, you have to plan. There's no business you can go into that you don't sit down and plan. And so a business plan it's compulsory that you have it. And when Tom was talking, she talked about you plan before you start. You don't go to Walmart and tell them you have 6 cartons of Zobo. I'm sure they will just laugh you. The security myself is the one that will laugh you out of the place. I had plenty aloe vera plants in my compound, plenty. And someone came, and so they've packed it, they've taken all of them off me. And the person was saying, but we can even think of export. I said, no way am I thinking of export. Export means that you have to be consistently supplying, and I'm not able to do that. It took me over 10 years to get the aloe vera to be that size and extent. So there's no how I'm going to do exports. It's buy now and forget it, and then we'll leave it. So if you want to go into export, you have to have a business plan. If you want to do any business, you have to have a plan. Because when you have a business plan, it helps you to even know whether this business is going to be viable or not. There's some businesses that they look nice when you think about it, especially when you sleep and wake up, that early morning sleep. Before you pray, you think that it's God that dropped it in your heart. But it may just have been that you saw something like that on the street before you got to your house. And so you're confusing it. But when you write a business plan, there's clarity. CAC registration and annual returns. I know that some people don't have this one. Please go and register with CAC. You might think that you're a small business now, but tomorrow somebody wants to invest in your business. They will need your CAC documentations. They will need your annual returns. And if you don't have all of those things, when they are doing their due diligence, they will think that you're not serious. And you might, because of that, undercut yourself the way they will value your business. Do you have fixed asset register? Means that all the fixed assets you have, your cars, your machines, your equipment, your tools, even your furniture, your tables and your chairs, do you have a register for all of them? If you go to some offices, you see at the back of a chair, they'll write certain numbers.
they have a fixed asset register. That's where they got those numbers to put on those items that you saw in those offices. Okay? So those are the main documents. I mean, this is not all. These are the main documents that if you have, one would be comfortable that you know where you're going. So at this point, I would like us to launch the poll so that based on the response, we'll continue with the rest of the session. And the poll will just be for 2 minutes. Please answer the questions. Please, everyone, try and participate. So far, only 12 people have done. 14 people. Fantastic. The questions are on your screen. Someone is asking where are the questions. I suppose that we all have the questions.
You
now.
look at the widget before, after the recording knob. You see poll in progress. Click there and you see the list.
So I'm going to end the poll in the next 20 seconds. We still have some people who haven't seen it. So far, 26 people have, 27 now. All right, so we have to end the poll now. Thank you very much to all the people who have, 30 people out of 66% of us have done it. I think that's fair. In most schools, that's a B. So I've ended the poll. Let's share the results.
Wow.
Can you all see the results?
Yes, we can.
Wow, I think we should all join this. The way it is, we may all be able to join our export team.
We are happy to hear that.
Because 57% of us have income statement. Okay, only 43 have cash flow. We can pull them up and get them to join. 37% have their balance sheet, tax return 43, which is very good. Account receivable 53. You see, you don't want people to owe you, but only 47% for tax account payables. Business plan, fantastic, 77%. CSC registration and annual returns, 90%, bravo. And fixed assets register, only 23%. All right, thank you very much. We don't, for instance, the fixed asset register, there are templates that you can pull online and customize to suit your business. Because the thing is that why fixed asset register is very important is that you might have some machines and tools and even some fixed assets and some tables and chairs and furniture that are not useful. Meanwhile, you go to a bank to borrow money. Meanwhile, you could sell some of the things that you have in excess. That's why we keep insisting that you keep these records, because sometimes people go to the bank and they shouldn't have gone to the bank in the first place if they're only looked inwards. All right, so let's continue. Okay, please, the next slide. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay. All right, so I just made some notes for you. As I said earlier, this document that I insist that you have, no, I think insist is the right word. Insist might seem like I'm a teacher, but I'm actually a teacher anyway. So the teacher in me is telling you to get these documents because they help you develop smart data-driven strategies for your business. It helps you to know exactly where your business is and where it wants to go to. They also help to see if and how, when it is wise to invest in new equipment. Some of you run businesses where you need to buy equipment. Some of you buy it at the wrong time, making the equipment more expensive than it should be. For instance, you run a production and because you don't keep proper records, you don't know that your peak period is June to August. But because everybody's always talking about December, you think it's December, you go and buy the machines in December instead of buying in June. So your machine, you're going to be paying interest on loan if you're taking loan to buy it, or even just losing the opportunity cost of the money you have tied down in buying the machine in December and not being able to produce optimally till June. Is that, how many months of waste is that? Please someone put it in the chat box. How many months of waste is that? Your peak period is June to August. But because everybody's talking about December, you go and buy the machine in December. What have you done to yourself? You have tied down your money for a period because you're not using your machine optimally. You have also gone to buy something that you're paying interest on if you took a loan, which you shouldn't be paying because that interest, you're paying it not out of that production, but maybe out of your cash reserves, which is very unhealthy for any business person. Okay, so I see, fantastic, 6 to 7 months, 6 months of waste. So fantastic, thank you. Looks like, wow, so we're all together on this. So imagine that you're paying interest for 6 months when you're producing suboptimally. Whereas if you had bought the machine in June, even if you bought it in May so that you have period of setup, last week in May, period of setup, and then you start in June, at least you have the machine running at optimal production till throughout the year. Okay, so that's what having those documents help you do. Okay, and then it also helps you, these documents also help you to do better, to be better prepared to apply for funding and get partners and investors. If you're going to apply for funds, like when I was running the microfinance bank, it's not everybody we needed documents from because, you know, as a microfinance bank, we dealt with people who couldn't read or write, but we still had to see some evidence of them being able to keep proper records. Some of them used calendar to mark some lines. Some of them, we used their stock and all the other things. But if you could read and write and you came to us for a certain amount, we would need some documentation to prove to us that you are able to absorb the money because some people overborrow. They borrow more money than they can afford and it buries their businesses and it buries them. You want to have a partner to come into your business and then they come in, everything is scattered. That's a way of driving them away in the first place. Someone wants to do due diligence. They're asking for the sales records for June of 2019. Ah, you're calling Maria, combo, where is that this thing? And then they say, where is the expenses for the following month of, hey, Gabriel, go and look for this and come. That's not how it's done. Everything has to be in place before you have people coming to. That's why people do due diligence before the due diligence. They go through the checklist for themselves and prepare for those things. And you can't get that done properly if you don't if you don't have proper records of your sales and your expenses. And I know that sometimes for incidents happen where you have incomplete records, but if you've had records before, you've had your bank statement and your bank is not the same with your personal monies, then I hope that we have stopped that thing in, amongst us in AWEP, because there was a time we had one outing at Madam Hajia Samira's school, Gliston in Jahi. No, not Jahi, the one in Jabi. And one of us, we had some displays. Yes, exhibition. And some of us were selling things. And I needed to buy something. I bought something from one of the ladies. I won't mention her name. And I told her to give me her account number because I wanted to transfer the money to her. And she gave me her personal account. And I said I wasn't going to transfer the money until she gave me her own business account. And she begged me, that she doesn't have, that so. And so I said, well, you are not going to get this money until you get your business, until you register a business and separate it. You don't have to do limited liability company. Just register a simple business name, just so that there's some integrity between your business and so that's even that discipline, that this is business money and this is personal money, so that the line is very clear. But I gave her the money. I hope if you're on this call that you had gone to register, because you told me to take some days, and it's true, it would take some time. And I didn't want to just owe her unnecessarily. So I gave her the money and told her to go and register with CAC, just a business name to start with. Okay. Next slide, please. So these are the pertinent questions. Those documents will help you answer for your business. And I hope that, especially for those of you who have some of these documents, I want to at this point give you homework number 1. Remember, I am a teacher. You heard that I'm on the faculty of Enterprise Development Center. So I always like to give homework. So my first homework to you is this one. But the good thing, or I don't know if it's a bad thing, of this homework is that you're not going to submit it to me. You're going to keep it to yourself and discuss it with your team. Is your revenue cyclical or consistent? Is it like that person that has business that comes in mainly in June to August? Or is it consistent even schools, their revenue comes in September, January, and maybe April. Some people pay throughout the year, some people pay once. So what's your own way? How is your revenue? Because that will help you plan your major, they call it capital purchases. If you know this, you will not have a problem knowing when to buy your capital equipment. Is it consistent or is it cyclical? That's when you answer that question. When you answer that question, it will help you even to do a major expansion. When do you do the expansion? Is it when the money has come down or when you have plenty money? Which goods and services generate the most profit? When you keep your records, you will know from your sales that this product A is the one selling, product B and C are just patching on product A. And so you can decide, okay, no, I don't want to produce B and C again. Let me just concentrate on A because A is the one giving me all the money. But sometimes you have to be careful that you don't just cut off B and C because A is the only one giving you, because there are some things called loss leaders. These are products that you go ahead and sell them because it's because of them people are buying number A. I hope I'm communicating. Please put in the chat box if you're following me. Just say yes, yes, yes. 3 yeses, then I'll know. I have 3 questions here, 3 yeses. Is your business profitable or barely breaking even or losing money? Is this records that will help you know? Thank you, thank you. I can see all of the yeses. Thank you very much. All right, so is when you are keeping this record so that you know whether you're making money or not. Some people have told me, I am doing business, I am profitable. And I'll say, okay, so bring your audited account. And when I look at the audited account, I see that they're not making the money they claim. You know how it is, numbers don't lie. It just tells you everything. Okay? So it's when you keep those records, you will know whether you're making profit. And sadly also, there are some people that are making profit, but because they're not keeping the records, they do not know that they're making profits. They're beating themselves up already. Okay, thank you very much. It looks like most of us are with us or are with me on this. Fantastic. Please, the next slide. So, why you need a bookkeeper? I think all of these things I've said will make you wonder, is it me that will come and be sitting down to write all of these things? No, I'm not going to be able to write all of these things. You don't need to write all of them yourself. You don't need to write up all of those records. That's why you need a bookkeeper. And that word bookkeeper, have you seen anything interesting about it? Please look at that word again and tell me if you see anything interesting about it. Anything unique about that word bookkeeper? Please put in the chat box what you think. Bookkeeper. Is there any interesting thing you see about that word bookkeeper? I'll give us a few seconds to respond. Someone says it's together, keeps books, it's joint, double K. I'm still waiting. 10 more seconds. Record keeper keeps the book inappropriate, keeps the records of inappropriate books, and then you need a book. Thank you. Okay, keep records. I'm still looking for something unique about that double. It looks like I'm getting close. Double K, double E. Okay. Yes, double O, double K, double E. Fantastic. That's, see, is there any other English word that has triple, double letters close to each other? Hardly. Okay, someone says hardly. Someone that assists you to do, okay, that's the bookkeeper, yes. The bookkeeper assists you, yes. Okay, but in the whole of English language, there's no other word that has three double letters contiguous, one after the other, next to each other like that. So for me, as an accountant, I feel that this is a special role. That's why it was given that special, or that's why it got this special spelling for itself. Double O, double K, double E. It means emphasis. It is so important that they had to double three of the letters that make up the word. It is that important. And so you need to have a bookkeeper. You can learn to be a bookkeeper yourself, but you know how it is. What's the opportunity cost of you doing the bookkeeping? Couldn't you hire someone for less? Use your mind and your time for strategic things than to be a bookkeeper. If you are a bookkeeper, fine. If not, get someone else to do it. And if they're very good at it, all you require is once in a while your accountant will come in and interpret the statements for you. Okay? So you really, really need a bookkeeper. Hire one or become one, but you need one. It's even tax people, when they come to you, is the quality of bookkeeping that will help them determine whether they're going to leave your office in a few hours after they came, or they will sit in your office for days. And you know, if they sit there for days, they're going to be uncovering things, and the penalties you will have because of not properly recording, not properly, just not properly recording your transactions is an experience you don't want to have. Okay? All right, next slide. Please, can I have the next slide? Okay, so I think I've explained all of this. So I want to just move this. Okay, so this is a summary of your revenues and expenses incurred within a specific period. So whatever is left over is your expenses from your revenue is your profit. And that if your expenses is more than your revenue, what is that? Can I have answers in the chat? If your expenses are bigger than your expenses are bigger than your revenue, what would that be? Yes, someone, She Trade says loss. Yes, fantastic, loss with plenty S. Thank you. So that's a loss, and I'm sure that nobody on this call wants to make a loss. You want to plan your business in such a way that you don't make a loss, even in these times. All right, the next slide. Thank you. Cash flow statement is used to forecast your revenue. That thing I said about when to buy the machines and all of those things, your cash flow statement is where you get the information to do it, because you know when your cash is coming in and when it's going out. So you know the best time to buy and the best time to sell, or whatever else you need to do. And maybe at this point, I should also remind you of your fixed and variable cost, because some of us do business and forget our fixed cost. We only count the variable cost. We don't count our fixed cost in. And so because of that, we underprice our product. Your fixed costs are things like the rent that you're paying. If you have a car that is used for the business general admin, or even your general staff that are just there to do the general admin, those are fixed costs. Whether you sell or you don't sell, you must pay them. Whether you sell or you don't sell, you must put on generator. In fact, that's why if you have not bought Aspire, I think you should get it, because I've written it in such a way that a Nigerian business owner will understand. There's something I talked about generator in that book. Whether you are making profit or not, you will still put on generator, or you pay NEPA bill, but generator will always come in. Please, is there any person that has business that doesn't have generator in this Nigeria? Except to everybody else, I'm sure, has a generator. I'm sure she has forgotten what the sound of generator is like. Okay, fantastic, thank you. Please, next slide. Next one should be balance sheet. Can we have the next slide, please? All right, the balance sheet, which is also called statement of financial position. It all shows you. Hilda says I don't. Hilda, you are not in Nigeria, I'm sure.
She is not though.
You see, as if I knew. You cannot be in Nigeria and do major business and not have generator. Madam Hilda, your opinion is not wanted on this generator matter. When we are talking about our matter, all right. Okay, so the balance sheet shows you your business, how your business is doing at a particular point in time. The balance sheet is where, as I said earlier, where your assets, liabilities, and equity are listed. It's your balance sheet that tells you exactly who you are, what size of business you do. Someone will say, this is the richest person in Africa, richest person in Nigeria, richest person in this sector. It's because of the information on your balance sheet. And the balance sheet for every business, and even the profit and loss account, they have the same format so that everybody is judged based on the same standard. Okay, the next one. Next slide, please. Okay, tax returns. Okay, so most of you said you have done this, which is very good. Please keep your records of all your businesses and know how to classify all your expenses right. That's why I say get an expert. Some of you will tell me, someone told me, Auntie Ekaette, it's expensive to get a tax accountant. It's more expensive to explain to the tax people. I am telling you, because I have seen things. So please get a tax. You don't have to employ them. You can get them on, like now, AWEP can approach 2 or 3 great tax accountants and get them to work for each of us. And we pay a certain amount so that we spread the cost. Say 5 people will have one that will go around and look at your books and advise you properly so that you don't pay tax you shouldn't. When you try to do it by yourself, sometimes you pay more taxes than you should. Legally, you pay more taxes than you should. Whereas if you have a consultant, you may not pay as much because there are some things they know that you don't generally know. It's not just generally there. Okay, so please get an expert to help you. All right, next one, please. Account receivables. Keep records of your people that are owing you. It's called aging report. How much is the person owing you? When did the person take it? When is the person supposed to pay back? So you know when to start chasing the person to pay you your money. And I said this that every time I have opportunity. Someone told me, no, I don't take credit. I don't take loans because I'm a Christian. Then I was even running a microfinance bank. So I said, so what am I? If I'm running a microfinance bank, I give loans. And you say you're a Christian, you don't take loans. So what am I? I think we should know where to draw the lines. If you are in a business where you have integrity, people trust you and say you can take and pay me in 45 days, please take and pay in 45 days. Even if you have the money, use that money and do something. I think you can plant corn and it comes out in 45 days and you sell. I don't know, I'm not sure. But whatever, instead of just paying when the person says you can pay in 45 days, you can keep the money and do something else with it, and then get the interest on that investment for that short period, pay the person off in 45 days, and just, or on day 44 or whatever. If you're given credit, please take it. At any point, if there are grants, rights. In fact, one time a young man came to me. Because of that, I didn't do business with him. And then I was involved in UWIN. And he came to me to look for a business of 80,000 naira. And he had these fantastic ideas and all of that. So I said to him, have you applied for UWIN? You won't believe what he told me. Ah, madam, the form is too long. I'm like, really? And you're coming to me for 80,000 naira business and UWIN form that if you can get that grant, you are not going to pay back. And he said it's too long. That's how I didn't do business with him, because I didn't think that was a serious person. Go and try and not get it. That's a different thing. But for you to tell me the form is too long, you're looking for money, you don't have a job, you're struggling in business, and the form is too long for you to fill. It does give me a very bad test. And so I didn't do business with him. So please, if you see any grants, even if it's 50 pages, fill it. It's cheaper than going to pay interest on a loan. Okay? The next one, please, accounts payable. The next one, accounts payable. Okay, so I've told you what accounts receivable is. You will now tell me what accounts payable is. Please type in the chat box what accounts payable is. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of accounts receivable, but I want to hear it from you. Amount that I owe, yes. All monies. Amede, you're not supposed to answer any question that as I'm teaching. It's already rigged in your favor. All monies, sorry, this is going very fast. Money I am owing. I want to be sure that I'm getting everybody's, what you are owing and need to pay back. Fantastic. Money I am owing. What you owe, okay. It's report that it reports what the business is owing to creditors. Fantastic. All right. Sum total of all creditors. Okay. Money to pay back. Fantastic. So we are all on the same page. So basically that's what accounts payable is. These are the people you're owing. You have financial obligations to these people, and you have the date the obligation took place and when it materializes, so you're supposed to pay back. And sometimes we're not able to pay back our obligations. Please, there's no shame. Okay, there's no shame in going to your creditor and saying, look, I cannot pay back today, as I said. Please, let's renegotiate. It's more honorable to do that than to dodge the person and not take the person's calls anymore. I mean, I used to see that a lot. You infuriate people when you do that. If you can't pay back, go and explain to the person why you can't pay back and make clear plans for how you're going to pay back. Drop a new schedule. All right. So the next one. So business plan, I think a business plan is the document you write, the business goals, and the important thing is you're going to have the financials. Is this business going to be viable? Is it going to be able to make profit? Is it going to be able to employ people? What need in the market is it solving? Is it unique, or is it just a general Me Too business? Does it have competitive advantage? If it doesn't have, some people have advised, if your business doesn't have competitive advantage, don't compete. If you don't have anything unique about your business, go and think about it. And maybe this period of COVID and all of the things that have happened is a good time to have a strategy session with your team. How do I make my business unique, stand out, have competitive advantage? Because really there's nothing new under the sun, but there'll be one tweak that you put in your business that will make it different from the rest. Okay, next one. The next one, please. Corporate Affairs Commission. Okay, looks like almost all of us have registered our business with CAC, but I also hope that you do your annual returns. Every business, whether a business name or limited liability company, you're supposed to do annual returns 30th of June every year. I hope you have been doing it. If you have been doing your annual returns for to CAC, please put yes. In fact, don't or just put yes. Put I do in the chat box. If you have been filing your returns, fantastic, I do. This AWEP people, we are compliant too. Oops, someone says I've never done. Okay, so now at least we do, so we can, and it's not expensive. It's very small amount to pay, because it's important. All of these things are very important. When, I don't know about you, but I believe that you want your business to grow and become bigger. When you are going to have investors, all of these things will come out. And if you haven't been making the returns, paying those small premiums, you're going to pay a penalty and interest on the penalty as well. So it will compound. So please, if you haven't, tomorrow is Friday, you can still go and check. All right, thank you very much. So at least this webinar has made you know that that is a possibility that you're supposed to do your annual returns to CAC. So tomorrow is Friday, please try and go and see them at CAC. Or you can ask the person who helped you to register your business about it so they can give you further information. But the money is usually small, but if you don't pay, you pay the money, you pay interest on it, you pay a penalty. Okay? All right, the next one. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so that's the fixed asset register. That's the last one. I think I've talked about this extensively, so I won't say much about it. And I recommend that you do it for yourself also. Okay, the next one. In conclusion, with those few points of mine, I hope that I have been able to convince you to have those documents. But because I love AWEP so much, I am a part of AWEP, I decided to give a bonus as well. And I'm going to go to the bonus part of my presentation. It will take me a few minutes to give that bonus because I want us to close out 2020 profitably. I did ask you how have you made profit today, because I know that 2020 has been tough for many people. But we can still turn things around in these last 52 days of 2020. Okay, so let's look at the bonus I have. Please, can we have the next slide? Okay, bonus. My bonus is green, green as the earth. I want you to make plenty money. All right, so I decided to just add 7 ways to grow your business fast. So that if we decide to take it, because I have spoken at many places, countless places, but sadly, there'll be 100 people listening and then only 4 people go to practice or put to action. So I hope that because we're women running our individual businesses, that more than just 4% of us will go and put this to practice, that all of us, because we want our businesses to grow big. For me, I keep talking about having women businesses on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. How many Nigerian businesses are on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? How many of us plan to have our businesses on the stock exchange in the next 5 years? Or is that even in some of our plans? That should be some of the dreams that we have. What's your vision board for 2021? You should have that, because it's not too difficult. It's a decision to make, and then you work towards it. You have enough time to do it. 24 hours is more than enough. That's one of the reasons why people tell me I'm busy. I laugh. I never tell anybody I'm busy. If I'm not going to do it, I say I can't do it or I won't do it. I never say I'm busy or I'm too busy to do it. No, I'm never too busy to do anything I want to do. If I'm not available, I'm not available. I won't do it. If I'm available, I'll find time and do it. So someone is saying I was busy, so I was too busy to attend that thing or to do, no. Everybody has 24 hours, so you can schedule it the way you want. And one of the things that this COVID has caused for me was to sit down and put my one hour, every 1 hour, what I was using the time for. I was amazed at how much waste I have in my days. Because I'll be sitting on the phone and doing things, and in the end, when I look at Naira and Kobo, it doesn't correspond. So we need to do that. Okay, so these are the 7 ways to grow your business fast, and I thought to share with you. One is to create an action plan. I told you earlier that you should sit down with your team and look at where you are in your business and how to keep these records. You have to create an action plan. I'll tell you how to do it. An action plan is a guide that you'll do, and then you have action steps, and then you schedule. If you go through that, being an entrepreneur is not easy. I'm sure that everybody was told at one point it's not easy. But when you make it, when you hammer, that feeling is sweet.
I like that word.
So you have to do the work at the beginning so that you can hammer, so that we can see your picture on the pages of newspaper. Okay? And then one day you ring the bell at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Then we'll all say, hey, AWEP member is on the stock exchange. Me, I'm going to be the one there, Sha. I don't know about you. If you're going to be the next, write your name and your year in the chat box. Okay, so another thing is to create a customer loyalty program. You have some customers who are loyal to you. I'm looking at one of the people I am a very loyal customer to. And I have not seen the customer loyalty program she has put in place for me yet. So me, I'm reporting her to the whole world. I'm waiting for it. Let her tell me, oh. Okay? So we have to have a customer loyalty program. And you know, as sisters also, let's also encourage ourselves by recommending each other, as long as they render good service to you. Like someone has given me good service, I usually tell other people, let's do it for each other. Because that's what the guys do for themselves. They go to the boat club, they go to IBB and sit there and they're recommending each other. Where do we go to? Now people don't even go to salon again. So you can't even say, let's do it in the salon. So in these organizations like this, let's recommend each other. Okay?
Yes.
From strategic partnerships, I think Tom mentioned this several times. You can't succeed alone. Nobody succeeds alone. You can walk alone and walk fast. But to go far, you need strategic partnerships. So this Zobo that is looking very attractive to me now, I can't go and do it alone. Me, I can't enter Sun and go to Sokoto to go and bring it. Me, I'll be the one to look at the colors and be, okay, I'll record all the tonnage that has arrived. Another person will go and is ready to go and haggle with the people to get the best price. Then you can't do it alone. I can't. You shouldn't. And there's so much time in the world for each person. So why would you want to waste your time and produce the entire pin all by yourself, where you can bring in people and they do their segment and we have a big pie and then we all share it and have a party? Okay, so please, let's think about having strategic partnerships. And I remember I mentioned something like this on our platform once, when I talked about the people doing share butter. I'm calling them out because that time I said, they should come together. There are too many. I bought share butter from many people on our web platform. Can't we all say our people that are in share butter come together? The person that is most skilled in sourcing the right quality should do it. Another person will do quality control. Another person will do marketing. Another person will liaise with Tomo so that they'll be exporting. That way we come together. We don't do too much. We don't go and burn ourselves out in the sun or whatever. But we still have bigger profits for each person. I think that works. And also people doing spices. I'm beginning to see too many spices on our platform from different people. Let us come together and decide that these spices, we're going to concentrate on the 3 that are the highest selling and do it so well that the whole world will know that those AWEP women are the ones supplying the spices in Nigeria. And then people will be, do you know that you can sit here and they'll say they want this thing. The exporters come to you. They don't want you to even export. They just say, gather and keep for us. This is what do they call? There's a spot where they'll come and pack. You just pack and keep for them because they know you for quality and consistency. If you're doing with someone, then you can do that. Leverage global platforms. We have the internet is, I'm going to university on YouTube as you see me so. There's hardly, anything you say that I'm interested in, I'll Google, and then if I like it, I go to YouTube and learn it. Or listen to it. If you mention someone's name that interests me, I go to LinkedIn, read it up, and find out what the person did, and go to YouTube and see how the person did what he did. Everything is so. They said the internet has democratized knowledge. I don't know what else that you need to push yourself. The tools are available. How much is data? Not a lot. Okay. And rethink your team. Some of us have teams that are too large. Some of us have teams that are too small. Some of us have teams that are incompetent, and we are still keeping them because we're paying them small amounts. They won't take you anywhere. If you have any suboptimal team, it won't work. You can't achieve the goals. You can't be thinking of being registered, going to the stock exchange. Okay. And it also improve on your credibility. You know, sometimes your credibility sells you. You don't have to talk too much. They say, that person, no, don't worry. Someone called me that they're doing something that they wanted me on the board of something. And I didn't know the company or anything. I just asked him, are you on it? He said, yeah. I said, okay, put my name. The person has credibility. If he said I'm not on it, I'll say, okay, wait, let me go and think about it. And then I'll quietly go and do my research, go to Google, LinkedIn, everywhere, and check, go and read up news about them, whether they've been in any scandal and all of that. And before I'll come and say my answer. But because this person is credible, once he said, are you interested? This, I said, are you in? He said, yes. I said, okay, put me. And once again, track all your expenses and income. Oh, I think that should become a song. I don't know how to, if I could sing, I would sing it for you as my like going out song. Track all your expenses and income, whatever. That is very, 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 very important. You have to do it for the sake of your business. All right. So that is my bonus to you. I hope you do it. But let me just tell you how to do this action plan. Please, the next slide. Dr. Shay, thank you. Okay, so guide for our action plan. So you sit down with your team. If you're alone in your business, please find an outsider as an external facilitator to come with you. Because you're too close to your business, there's some things you can't see that someone else with extra pair of eyes will see. Where are you now in your business? Where do you want to be? And how are you going together? This is a retreat package. You have to sit down with your team in a quiet place. The TV will not be on. The computers, unless you're using it to write, the phones are off. You sit down quietly and listen to yourself think. You and your team talk about these things. This is where you will come up with the action plan, as I said, and then you will now come up with the action steps, and then you now schedule every day of the year till that last working day. And if you do this thing the way I have said it, it's you that will be calling me to thank me by the end of this year or next year when you see the fruit of all of this. Okay, the next slide. Please, can I have the next slide?
Hello, next slide, okay.
So question, all right, I already asked you the question. Do you have all these relevant documents? So let's leave this one. Okay, sorry, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so before I take your questions, I just want to invite you to a program I have. Sorry, can you go to the next one? Yes, I want to invite you to a program I have. I'm doing a challenge for people that want to turn their businesses from struggling in this period to highly profitable. And I'm doing a 4-week program. There's a special offer. It's not free. This webinar is free, but my own special program is not free. In fact, I should call it special package. If you remember special package, mine is that powerful. It will have a powerful effect on your business, and your customers do what you want them to do. Just like that special package will make the people that you use it for do what you want them to do. So if you're interested, then you can contact me, and then we can do this so that we close 2020 profitably. It's possible. Times are hard, but it can be done. Amazon is making money. Zoom is making money. Why can't my name be the next one? Why can't your name be the next one? Having said that, I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak and attention. And more importantly, I'll be happier if in a few days, weeks, or months, I hear that you put to use what we talked about here today. That'll be more gratifying for me than anything else. Once again, thank you very much, and I'll be happy to take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next slide, that has my contact.
As always, you have delivered above and beyond, giving us bonus tips and telling us that there is a special package that you have made and prepared for us, so that this year will not go without us putting some good money in the bank. So I want to thank you very much. We have some few questions in the Q&A box. I will read the first one from Madam Ekaette. She said, please, how do you register your assets and where?
Okay, so that is an internal thing. It's a register. Okay, some people keep it online. If you're tech savvy, or if you have staff who are tech savvy, they can put it. You can just go online and download a template. Remember, I told you that me, I live on the internet now. No, you just go online and download assets. Okay, I don't know who has the question again.
Madam Rukayat.
Okay, Madam. Okay, Hajia, go online, go to Google and download template for fixed asset register. Once you go there, you see it, you download it, and then you customize it to suit you, and you use it to record your assets, your fixed assets. You can do it yourself. You can sit and start writing, but why waste your time when the thing is already there? That's like saying, why reinvent the wheel? It's already online, so just go and download one. There are plenty templates. Choose one and download. There'll be some that you have to pay money. Don't do the one that will pay money. Your business is not big enough to be paying unnecessary money. Go and take the free one first. After you have arrived, after your business is quoted on the stock exchange, you can now do your one that you trademark if you want. But right now, just go and Google whatever, fixed asset register template, and fill it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Excellent. Words of wisdom. There's another question here from Aisha Suleiman. She's asking, please, ma, what is tax clearance certificate? Don't laugh, we are just small business women. Please teach us.
Okay, no, I'm not laughing at the person. I'm laughing that she's asking me. You know, the thing is that when you pay your tax, okay, thank you, Aisha, for bringing up that question, because some of us have been denied some things because we didn't have tax clearance certificate. Maybe it has even happened to you. That's why you're asking the question. And I truly appreciate that you've asked that question, because it's an essential document. There's some contracts you want to do in this country that you need your tax clearance for 3 years. You can't get tax clearance if you don't have proper records. And you can't have proper records if you don't keep those documents I talked about. So it starts with you having your records, and then you go to tax. Go to the tax office near you. Please go online and check. You know your location. If you're, for instance, you're in Wuse, go to FIRS website and check the nearest place tax office to your location. Or even if you go to their main office, go and ask them, where is my tax office? They will direct you to the one that is your own. And then you go there and open your file and record yourself. And after that, once you make your returns, you fill your forms and make your returns at the appropriate time. When you need tax clearance, you can go and ask them for it. Sometimes you don't even need it. You just want to have it so that you can say to yourself, just satisfy yourself that you have your tax clearance. You can go and get it. But sometimes when you need to travel for some businesses, or there's some contracts, they will require tax clearance from you. And that's when you find out that you need it. And you're supposed to have been a taxpayer to be able to get your tax. You have paid tax, you have done business in Nigeria, you've paid tax, and then you get your tax clearance.
Thank you so much, Madam Ekaette. Many of us are reinventing ourselves. Some of us are changing businesses from what we used to do to more profitable businesses. And today, you have taught us the importance of keeping records, and we know the basic financial documents to keep to help us develop smart businesses. And you also gave us the fantastic idea about having tax consultants address our tax issues as a group, which is very invaluable. And you topped it up with bonus points about the 7 ways you can grow our businesses fast. We thank you, and that is why we keep coming back to you as our profitability queen. I want to say thank you for an excellent delivery, and we'll always come to you because, you know, this is an ongoing process. So, and since you are a member of AWEP, we know that when we come calling, they're always there to answer us. Thank you for this day. Thank you so much, Madam Ekaette. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did I say? I promised you a fantastic and impactful session, and I'm sure that we can all attest to the fact that we have gained so much today. Our gratitude once more to Ekaette Consulting and Maine Solicitors. Thank you, Madam Tong. Your delivery too was excellent, and we are sure that going forward, you'll be receiving calls from us as a body and as individual business owners. I want to thank our technical partner.
Sorry, please. I'm seeing a comment here about tax. So I just want to make a comment. I apologize for interrupting you.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's this new thing that came up. This administration came up with that if your revenue is below 25 million naira, you don't have to pay tax. But that's not to say you are not supposed to make your tax returns. So you still register with tax. They will still know you exist, so that when your business becomes bigger, because if you're below 25, you're not aiming to be on the stock exchange. I didn't see the people that answered that my question, or they didn't put their names and the year they will be on the stock exchange. But if you plan that, then 25 million is just a start. So you will not pay tax, but you will have tax records. Then as you become bigger, you begin to pay tax. And look, tax is not very much. Let's not be afraid. I think we've been misinformed. It's not a lot of money to pay. It's a proper thing to do. Even as women of integrity, it's a proper thing to do. Thank you.
I agree with you very much so, Madam Ekaette. And if you don't do it with, the guidance of professionals, you may do it wrongly and fall into trouble going forward, because there are penalties when you underfile your taxes or you refuse to file taxes at all. So let us be wise business entrepreneurs and do the needful. So thank you once more, Madam Ekaette. I was going to thank our technical partners, Concept 24, for their fantastic support throughout this program. We appreciate you, Dr. Oshei. We continue to rely on your expertise. We have come to the end of the program, but behind the scenes are our tireless conference committee members who have made this day come to pass and have made it the success it is today. So I want to say thank you to the committee members of the 2020 annual AWEP annual conference, so to speak. Also, our ESCO members that are on the call, we want to appreciate your presence. I've seen all of you. You've been here from the beginning, and you are here as we speak. That shows the commitment you have for AWEP. And finally, but not lastly, we want to say a special thank you to all our participants. Without you, this program will not be the success it is, and we continue to say we appreciate you. Do not forget, we have the main thing, the D-Day coming up. And I wouldn't want to miss this opportunity to call on my national president, who is on call. I so appreciate her. She's been on call from one platform to the other since morning, and she made it a date with this program because this is her baby, really. She's going to talk to us about our upcoming national conference on the 26th of November. My MP, Mrs. Ajala, if you are still with us, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Secretary General. Thank you. Thank you for coordinating so beautifully.
You're welcome.
We want to use this opportunity to invite everybody to our main annual national conference, November 26th. We had too many things to say, and that was why we began with the pre-conference webinars. These are all the things that we need to begin to put in place in our businesses. If 2020 slowed you down, use the remaining months to consolidate. In fact, we wanted to do the conference earlier, but we had other, considerations, and that's why it's going on to 26. We are taking an earlier date because for somebody like me, from towards the end of November till January, I don't get involved in any other thing again. No association, no issues. I am looking inwards and building my business and looking at how the year has been and seeing what the new year has to offer and then tidying up. So it's a time of retreat. And so for that particular conference, we have entered the era of digitizing our businesses. And so we need you to come and hear what to begin to do. Information is powerful, especially our members that are in the business and in the service clusters that usually wonder that those of us that are running services, how do we commercialize? How do we make money? How do we get these things at Ekaette? Come and learn how to run a service business towards earning 9 figures income regularly. It's doable. Come and learn it. So don't say, oh, it's only for those that are producing. No, we are looking at that particular segment and we're bringing one of the best to speak on that. And then women, we don't know how to tell our stories. We are just hardworking. We just walk and move on. See, profitability queen now. She will just walk, do this, do that, that is all we do. We just walk. Let us learn how to tell our stories, commercialize it, and use it to earn. And so we have the Sparkle Queen coming to even take us through that. And I give you an example. I'm an author of 2 books. Ekaette is an author of 2 books. Have you seen how Ekaette introduces her books? She will start one story. You will get caught up in the story that you have to buy the book. Many of us, when we want to advertise our products, we just put it there. Marshall Security, be this. You won't even first tell us the story behind security, where we need, that this happened somewhere, they kidnap somebody, you need to. That story already will heighten my spirit. Before she even mentions security, I'm calling her that I need her services. So we must learn how to take stories, to commercialize our businesses, to run with it. We mustn't be ashamed of those stories. And we must see the story in every event. So come and let us look at things like that. Also, how to find the right market. Do you know the right market for your business? Do you know where to go for export? Is it, Jones told us about the beans, the honey beans that is almost impossible to get in the US. Because she's there, she can give us that instance. But do you know where your products are needed? Do you know the right fit? Do you know how to launch innovative products for export? In Nigeria of today, the naira we're earning cannot go far. So if you're not exporting and earning even one pound somewhere, you won't go, you will keep on struggling. The struggle will continue. Let's continue the struggle. And many times I tell people, I say, people follow what is called the Pareto principle, where 20% is the number of people that will answer you of the 80% you need to see. And so even if it is 20% that will take the challenge, let's see a number of women overcoming these challenges and moving on. Our theme is resilience, technology, and collaboration. We have talked a lot about collaboration here, and we're having a collaborative framework session, cluster by cluster, where you can see how it will happen and how you can key yourself in. And so I want to invite you specially, do not miss that conference for anything. It's going to change the trajectory of your business. So please be there. I thank Madam Tong for a very wonderful session. Madam Ekaette, remember to join the challenge Ekaette gave us. Join that challenge. Don't say you're a struggling business. Behave as if you are a starting business, startup. You are just starting. That was how I did. When COVID came and wanted to go digital, I told somebody, I'm behaving as if I have never run a school. This is the first time I'm running a school because I've not done this type before. And it was that mindset, the optimism, the energy that I put into it. So let's be creative, let's be happy around our businesses, and let that positive energy, let's throw it out and let's move forward. Thank you all very much. Madam Secretary, wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my president. Okay, participants, you have heard it. Our national president, Mrs. Angela Ajala, there is nobody else that can give you that charge and the boost you need to take the steps you need to take. So please, let us all be there. Please save the date, the 26th of November, 2020. It is going to be impactful. Participants, every video recording of the 2 sessions we have had will be sent to us as long as you have registered and we have your contact. So please, do yourself well to register so that we will have your email address that we can send the webinar videos to. We'll be taking for a short period now, 1-2 minutes, some advertisements from our members here, just to showcase their businesses again. Panelists, please put on your videos because we are about to take the pictures for the day. We know it's a virtual conference that we would like to document those that are here, and it would be lovely to see your faces. So please, if you are off video, kindly turn on your video, the readiness of the picture that will be taken shortly. Dr. Sherry, let's have the adverts, please.
You're not inviting more people to advertise for the main conference?
Annual conference, like a button that says advert. When you click on that button, you'll be able to pay to run your advert by this. It is just for a token of 3,000 naira. So please, there is need for more advertisement to be done in this program. You can communicate to us at the secretariat or just go directly to the registration program and indicate that you want to run your advert. Thank you so much. Dr. Sheyi, I think we are ready now for the picture. Panelists, kindly put on your videos so that we can have everybody on the call on video. We want to take the picture now. Ladies and gentlemen,
Madam Emilia, my screen is blank. Can you or Dr. Sheyi? My screen is blank.
Why is that? Why? Is your video on, Antilami?
Yes, yes.
Dr. Sheyi, please troubleshoot for us. Some of the panelists, especially Ayo-Adeola, says our screen is blank.
Can you see me?
No, we can't.
No, we can't see you.
Right. So I don't know what happened.
Madam, I'm loving this low cost. I'm loving this low cost. You are rocking it.
You can join me.
I don't think I'll
still blank. Okay.
It's
still blank. He has asked me. He's just asking me to switch to active speaker. I don't know.
Yes. Many people see me. I can't see myself.
I can't see myself.
Mr. Jala, you need to remove your.
What should I do?
You can take out. Okay, that's back now.
Okay, now we can see
you. I can't see Madam. So is she around?
So, okay, Madam Lamy, I'm trying to figure out what might be happening with your screen.
I don't know what the problem is.
I don't know. Okay, it's all right. My name is there.
Okay. So, because I've stopped your video and I'm going to ask you to start again.
You stopped my video. Yes, I can see that.
Right?
Right. So start video.
Yes, let's try it one more time.
You cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Hold on a sec. Let me try something. Okay, try it again now.
Co-host, okay. No, it's okay.
Wow.
I'm not going to hold you guys up.
Okay, we'll troubleshoot that afterwards. You can always Photoshop it in anyway.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to do a countdown and then we'll take the photograph. I'll just count down from 5 down to 1. So everybody get their presidential smiles ready. All right, so Amede, you are slightly off. You're not in the center of your picture. Amede. Yes. Much better. Good. Same thing with Madam President. Could you move your screen a little to the, I think, to yes. Oh, Madam Lamy, we have you now.
Yes.
We're Madam Lamy now.
Wow. Welcome back.
So, Madam President, you need to be slightly more in the center.
Okay.
Yes, that's good. All right. Okay, so I think we're ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big smile.
Yes.
Okay, good. I've gotten one. I want to do a second one. Okay, another one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big smile. We're good. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Sheyi. I think, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once more. We have come to the end of the program finally, and I'm sure we all had a fantastic time. So please, we'll be looking forward to have all of you join us on the 26th of November for the main team. That is where, you are going to know how AWEP has packaged you for success this year. We are all looking forward to having you join us. Take good care and have a blessed weekend coming.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
All right then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Emilia, well done.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
Madam,
job.
bye.
These are loyal customers. Madam Ekaette, you are one of our loyal customers. So be expecting our bumper package.
Now you're speaking to me.
Brand loyalty. AWEP loyalty.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.